Hello and welcome to the Kenneth for Camden Lawless Legal Podcast. In this edition, we look at the DWI case and what to expect after arrested and meeting with the attorney. Well, let's say sometimes it's important that the client know ahead of time what the possible penalties are, because many people don't take it seriously and are just looking to hire the cheapest lawyer out there. If someone pleads guilty on a DWI, they're looking at mandatory license suspension, even on a first offense, $3,000 in surcharges, and other penalties. So also the questions we ask is if they have priors and if they have a CDL, commercial driver's license, because if someone has a commercial driver's license, even if they plead guilty to the lowest level first offense DWI, where you only lose your driver's license for 6 months, your CDA will be suspended for another year. We asked the question, did the officer treat you professionally? What comments do you have about the police officer? What other tickets were issued? Speeding, failure to maintain lanes. Sometimes the police just make up reasons at nighttime why they pulled some people over. We need to know if the police saw you driving and who else was in the car, because those people could be potential witnesses in your case. And then because your attorney can hire an investigator to have interviewed them, because if they're going to say the person was drunk, you obviously don't want them as a witness. Let's say important questions next come. Let's say, and if you're arrested, try to remember that what did the police say to you and what did you say to the police. Let's say many of the police cars have videos, but sometimes the video doesn't record what people were doing, but at least a lot of times it has audio. But it's important to start off with to try to remember what was said by each person. If someone said they were they had 8 beers, it makes it pretty difficult. Did the police find any bottles in your car? What field sobriety tests did you have to take? Walk and turn, finger to nose, the horizontal gaze nystagmus test. That's where the police officer holds out a pen, they look to see if your eyeballs are jumping up and down, basically. What did you tell the police officer? Again, is important. What type of sneakers or shoes you're wearing? Because if a woman was wearing high heels, a guy's wearing uncomfortable work boots, that sometimes has a factor in why someone doesn't do well on the field sobriety test. Let's say, now some people say they did fine, but typically if they've been arrested for DWI, the police officer is not going to write down that they did fine on all the tests. Then in the car, they have to try to remember what they said to the police officer in the car, because if in the car they were just saying, "Listen, let me go, I won't drink again. I'm sorry," that anything you say can be used against you. Miranda only applies once someone is under arrest and in the car, and typically, but it doesn't apply to statements that are just made by the side of the road to the police officer. Once you're in the station, we need to know what tests they did. In New Jersey, they use the ALCA test, and there's information that we will ask at the interview, the time between the 2 tests, how long did the police officer leave the room, within 20 minutes of you taking the test, did you spit, were you chewing gum, things such as that. Your attorney will obtain what's called discovery from the prosecutor, and if there's a video, they'll obtain the video. Typically what we do is we invite our clients into the office to watch the video, because there have been times where our client thought they did okay, then once they watched the video they realized they didn't do so well. Under a court rule, the prosecutor is not allowed to engage in a plea bargain. However, sometimes you can file sufficient motions so that the prosecutor can prove their case, and the case can be resolved in a way without a guilty plea to everything. For representation, contact the law office of Kenneth for Camden at 732-572-0500. And you can also learn more about DWI defenses on our website, njlaws.com, and benotguilty.com. That's benotguilty.com. Thank you.